In the One Piece universe, there is a continuous power struggle between pirates and the world government. The world government can't deal with the pirates on their own, so they created the Marines in order to keep the pirates under control. The Marines are led by the Fleet Admiral, and it is the highest position in the organization. Over the years, just a handful of individuals in One Piece have reached the rank of the Admirals, which shows that it's very tough to attain the rank. There are only 3 Admirals at any given time, all acting under a single Fleet Admiral. The Admirals represent the military strength of the world government and tend to rank among the most powerful characters in the series. They are feared by even the most veteran pirates, and together they are strong enough to compete with Yonko and Revolutionary Army's collective forces. The Admirals are the very definition of authority equals ass-kicking, being feared by pirates and criminals everywhere, and are among the strongest individuals in the entire One Piece universe. On top of their fearsome combat abilities, they also have the authority to command whole fleets with the many Marines ranked under them, have a say on the overall strategy of the organization, and can issue special orders, such as enacting the Buster Call at any given time, while also granting anyone else such an ability. Zephyr. While Zephyr is not a regular character, yet he is definitely one of the most well-known characters in One Piece. He's the main villain of One Piece. Film Z Zephyr joined the Marines when he was still a teenager, and he managed to rise through the ranks and eventually reached the status of a Marine Admiral. Zephyr was responsible for training many future Marine heroes, which included the likes of Akanu, Aokiji, Kizaru, Onigumo, and Momonga. Zephyr did not possess any devil fruit, but he was very apt at using haki. Almost all the Marines possess an incredibly powerful devil fruit, but Zephyr is the only exception. He did not have any kind of devil fruit. Instead, he relied purely on his haki. It's fair to assume that Zephyr's haki was on another level in comparison to the rest of the Marine Admirals. Also known as Black Arm, Zephyr, he was an admiral of the Navy at one point, possibly during Gold D. Rogers' era. Zephyr was quite powerful in his youth and served a major role in the Marines by raising a generation of soldiers, including current admirals and vice admirals. Zephyr stands against Marine Admiral Kizaru, and the Straw Hat Pirates proved he was a monster who, in his prime, could probably take on any character in the series. Even though he did not have a devil fruit like the other Marines, he was strong and only needed to depend on his haki. During his time as an admiral, he was in a league of his own. Okiji. Real name, Kuzan. Okiji is one of the 3 admirals at the beginning of the series. He follows a form of justice that he calls lazy justice, resulting in a very relaxed, almost self-assured attitude. When he first meets the Straw Hats, he shows no intention to fight, calmly discussing things like their bounty increase and even making a pass at Nami, leading the group to initially wonder if he really is an admiral or not. He has eaten the chili fruit, a logia fruit that allows him to turn his body into ice, as well as produce limitless amounts of ice and manipulate it. His haki is also feared to be a strong one. Overall, he's a pretty chill guy. During the 2 years time skip, he battled Akanu for the position of Fleet Admiral and lost, leading to him leaving the Marines. Okiji was the first Marine Admiral that was introduced in the series. After he lost his fight to Akanu, he left the Marines, and is rumored that Akoji then joined the Blackbeard Pirates. Okiji saved the lives of thousands of Marines during the Marineford War. Akainu. Akainu is one of the strongest fighters in the Marines. Akainu is apparently the most hardline of the Marines, following the doctrine of absolute justice. During the destruction of Ohara, he destroyed an evacuee ship full of civilians on the small chance that one of their targets was aboard, saying that if one is to do a job, it must be done thoroughly. During the Marineford War, he was the one who invested in destroying both Luffy and Ace because of their heritage. He has eaten the magma fruit, a logia devil fruit, allowing him to possess the power of magma. During the 2 years that Luffy was training, he battled Okiji for the rank of Fleet Admiral and won. He then moves the Marine HQ to the other side of the Red Line to put more Marine presence in the New World. Akanu was promoted to Fleet Admiral after his battle with Okiji. He believes in the concept of absolute justice and makes sure that justice is carried out against criminals at all cost. His devil fruit gives him incredible attacking power. He was even able to fight Whitebeard and managed to scare away the Blackbeard pirates. Akanu is one of the most hated characters in the series, as he's responsible for the killing of a lot of innocent people. He is famously known for killing Ace in the Marineford War. Sengoku. Sengoku was the Fleet Admiral who held his ground during the Marineford War and led the Marines to victory. He was held in high regard powered by Gol D. Roger and also was able to capture Shiki. He possesses the Hito Hito Devil Fruit, which gives him the ability to transform into a golden Buddha. In this mode, Sengoku can create shockwaves from the palms of his hands, and he also possesses the Conqueror's Haki. Sengoku is known as one of the strongest characters in the One Piece series. His power is so great that Gol D. Roger also acknowledged it, which is considered a huge accomplishment. One of the few who still knows the seas from the olden days, he's still respected by figures like Whitebeard. He's stern and businesslike, which often puts him at odds with his old friend Garp, whom he occasionally bickers with. He is one of the few people in the world that can use all three forms of Haki and is the only Marine among them. After the Battle of Marineford, he resigned from his position because of his doubts about the world government's actions and thus personally nominated Admiral Okiji to be his successor. 2 years later, he's a general inspector for the Marines, so he hasn't totally retired from business yet. Before going on about others, I'd also like to mention Garp. We all know that Garp could have been an admiral if he wanted to, but because he doesn't want to be in the direct order of the world nobles, so he has rejected the offer a few times. In his prime, he was feared to be the strongest Marine ever. Even Gol D. Rogers, the Pirate King, has acknowledged him. So drop a like for our boy Garp. Kizaru. Real name Borsalino, Kizaru is the only pre-time skip admiral to have retained his position after the time skip. After Akanu was promoted and Aokiji left, he has somewhat of an absent-minded and out-there personality, committing such acts as mistaking his snail wiretap for his phone, and politely asking the pirates who just shot at him if they could help him find his acquaintance. Befitting this, his justice is unclear justice, a purposefully unspecified type of justice that allows him to simply do what is ordered of him. He has eaten the Glint Glint fruit, which allows him to manipulate, create, and turn into the element of light. Several of his abilities include being able to fire laser beams and traveling at the speed of light. Kizaru is first seen during the Seibari Archipelago arc, where he was fighting against the worst generation. He's considered the strongest because of his devil fruit. His abilities make him a very dangerous person and not a lot of power match up to his speed. His biggest achievement was attacking Law ships. Fujitora. Fujitora is one of the new admirals who replaced Okiji and Akanu after the time skip, and is the first new admiral to be introduced after the time skip. He follows blind justice. He has eaten the Press fruit, which is a devil fruit that allows him to manipulate gravitational forces at will, granting him truly destructive combat abilities. Due to his devil fruit, he has the power to bring down powerful meteors, and he can use them as weapons to destroy islands easily. Fujitora was enlisted into the Marines through a world government draft alongside fellow newcomer Ryoko Kugyo, and was promoted to the rank of admiral within 2 years. He has shown to be kinder than most Marines and follows his own sense of morality and justice when carrying out his duties, which oftentimes cause conflict with his superiors. Fujitora was first seen during the Dressrosa arc, and he joined the Marines just after Ryokuguru. He has also fought with Sabo and didn't even break a sweat, which saw Sabo acknowledge the fact that he couldn't find a way to get past him. He also fought with Jack from the Beast Pirates. Fujitora also took the blame for the incompetence of his subordinates during the Dressrosa arc. Ryokugyu is the other new admiral introduced after the time skip. Ryokugyu is an enigmatic character who makes his debut in the Riviera arc at the Marijos as a security detail and Isho's keeper. He's an easygoing man who's on an extreme fast that has persisted for 3 years and has a close connection with old man Vegapunk. He remains enigmatic until finally dropping by at the end of the Wano arc. Upon his full introduction, Ryokugyu reveals himself as a huge supporter of Akanyu's brand of thorough justice and wants to bring down Luffy to get his superior's approval. Ryokugyu ate the Woods fruit, a Logia-class devil fruit that gives him the power to create and command various plant life in both harmless and violent ways, depending on what goal lies in front of him. Being a Logia, he can also transform his body into various plants' wood. He is able to sprout vines and branches from his body like tentacles, which is also how he gets his nutrients without eating, simply by using his vines to sap them from various sources, and sometimes from other people. His flippant personality is hard to read because he can abruptly switch from lawful and reasonable to destructive and disobedient, which has earned him a few tongue lashings. This makes sense when Aramaki shows his true personality, a man with no mercy to anyone who doesn't side with the world government, even if they live in seclusion or there is disparity imposed on them. The man takes it all in stride as if the inequality builds character and loyalty. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, let us know by liking, subscribing, and sharing our video. If you want us to cover any other topic, comment that down. Until then, that's all, folks.